Ofsted inspectors will likely not be looking for illegal activities. They'll be looking for activities which fit into a vaguely defined list of sentiments, such as non-violent extremism, criticised only yesterday at the Joint Human Rights Committee of both houses, which I sit on, as being an impossibly vague definition. It isn't clear what the list of British values actually is. There have been countless statements of it by government ministers, including the Prime Minister, and a number of uses of it in regulation. If government doesn't have a clear idea of what these values are, how could anyone else have them? And as we in this House should well be aware, vague laws and vague policies are a breeding ground for abuse and misapplication. The consultation was held many months ago, and tens of thousands of people across the country are awaiting a government response as a result of the contributions which they spent a long time submitting to that consultation.
The government proposal, in effect, to turn Ofsted into a state regulator of religion. I think that would be a dreadful thing to do, and I hope that her criticisms will be heeded by the Minister and that in due course that proposal will be abandoned.
There's clearly no doubt that faith-based organisations play a very significant role in our local communities up and down our country. The vast majority of this is carried out by volunteers who freely give their time, their talent, their energy, their love, and very often their money for the good of other people. We often find the place that Christians play in our society, indeed the church plays, as being eroded and undermined. And there is a growing feeling that the work of the church and its freedom to stand up for what it believes to be right and true is often under attack. I've stated in debates elsewhere in this House that I believe we have surrendered too much of our liberty in the name of equality, and that it is the Christian church that has often felt the brunt of this erosion of freedom of speech. And I believe we should never be afraid to make the connection between the excellent work that the church, Christian organisations, or indeed other faith groups carry out in our society, and the deep faith and conviction that actually motivates them to do the work that they do.
Faith has driven much of the social progress of British society, and faith organisations continue to be a source of energy, new ideas and passion in civic society today. A recent Demos publication that my honourable friend from East Ham mentioned found that religious people are more likely than non-religious people to volunteer regularly in their local community and to feel a greater sense of belonging. They also feel they can influence decisions locally and nationally and are more likely to take decision-making roles, such as being a councillor, a school governor or a magistrate.
I have the street pastors in Stockton, and I went out when first elected and have been out since with Stockton street pastors, and I saw the great work that they do in my local high street, helping people when they need that little bit of extra support, calming people when they are scared or frustrated or frightened. Indeed, I remember that night vividly as around 2 o'clock in the morning we approached one young lady who was somewhat worse for wear. I think tired and emotional is the appropriate jargon to use in this particular context. And she gladly took the support, the bottle of water, the flip-flops, the welcoming arm around her shoulder that the street pastors gave to her. She looked at me and said, you look like that Tory. And I said, don't worry about that now, we're here to help. And that is what this government is about, that is what these organisations are about. It's not about party politics, Madam Deputy Speaker, it's about assisting people in our society to make it a better place. I will restate it for the avoidance of any doubt. Just like the Prime Minister, just like so many honourable members who have spoken here today, I recognise, and the government absolutely recognises, the important contribution that faith makes to our society, the incredible value it adds to our country, and my honourable friend was quite right to raise it and quite right to ask for it to be reiterated onto the record, Madam Deputy Speaker, because it is important for us all and for the communities that we represent.